Welcome, folks, back. Engaged and Enraged, January 22nd. How are you, Enraged?
I'm doing pretty darn good today.
Pretty darn good. Saw the video earlier, dude. Nice work. Shit was pretty rocking, dude.
Thank you.
Musk on full display doing his Nazi shit.
Yeah, I mean, when
My heart's
I watched the his acceptance speech for becoming president, like that's kind of how I felt. Like, it was like I just put that into the video. It's like when he was talking about making things better. It's like it's like double speak, man. Like
yeah.
it's a lot of. He told us exactly like that's why I made the main part of his speech that he really wanted to get out there, which is his Hitler salute. That's what he wanted out the most, like so that's what I made the focus of the video, and like I think it's pretty clear like what direction we're heading in, man. I mean, there, the deportations are about to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot to
Well,
be enraged about, bro. There's a reason why I'm enraged on this show.
yeah.
it's
Well,
there's a reason why, because my brother here, he is more engaged and he's more chill. You know what I mean? Like
I would say we're both
he's still we're both pissed, but yeah,
we're both engaged and we're both enraged, but whatever.
of course,
Um,
of course.
Speaking of deportations, I want to try to let's try to make this happen. A little 20-minute jobber. Um, Speaking of deportations, I wanted to focus in. I haven't really heard anything about it, and I just thought it was kind of curious. And I want to kind of preface it with like, I do think that the immigrants that are working these jobs that the right and Trump and these guys want to deport. I do think they should be working these jobs because Americans don't want to work them. I think there is a need for them. I think there's just a huge need for comprehensive immigration reform that allows for these people to come over here and get status when they're working and they're not breaking the law, that all that stuff. Okay. But I want to focus in on because if you are of the mindset that people, undocumented folks, should not be allowed to work in the United States, you should take the opinion or the approach that the businesses that hire these folks should be penalized or fined or something should happen to them because they are as well breaking the law. So, from a conservative perspective, you've got the person here who's undocumented, who is in their mind, breaking the law. They're here without the proper documentation. But then you have the business owner who decides, I'm going to hire that person, I'm going to pay him under the table and not pay any taxes, get around the system and pay them at a lower wage than what I would have to pay an American worker who's whatever documented here
Yeah,
naturally,
a U.S.
legally,
citizen.
whatever.
Right,
Yeah, U.S.
right.
citizen. Okay, but I want to focus in on this story, and I do think to some degree that like if you are a business owner and because not all business owners are hiring undocumented people, right? Um,
It seems to be like specific sectors of
Sectors,
the
yeah,
economy.
yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Agriculture,
I mean, I'm sure you'll
meatpacking
find them.
plants,
Yes, I'm sure you'll
ranches,
find them pretty much kind of in all sectors. But like you said, there's probably a good
construction,
concentration. Yes, in specific,
roofers,
just a lot
concrete
of jobs that people don't want to do, like hospitality. In the hotel industry, people cleaning the rooms. A lot of Americans don't want to do that work. So like somebody's got to do it until the robots can do it, which is what they're working on. But so anyway, I want to focus in on that because like in all the discussions in mainstream media on left media that I watch, the right wing media, I don't hear anybody ever talk about that aspect of it. Like, why are the businesses not being penalized? But I want to focus in on the Humanist Report. Kind of did this a little bit of a story on a farmer down in Florida who is, concerned with the deportation of a lot of his workforce. Again, a farmer business owner who's hiring undocumented folks, and he's like upset that like,
Undocumented workers.
so now he's upset that now they could be going bye bye under the guy that he voted for. Um, but I want to focus in on what he says specifically is the problem in his mind, and we're gonna kind of see that he's kind of doing the same thing. So let's check it out here real quick.
Paying workers a fraction of what he does. He wants to stop illegal border crossings and likes the idea of deporting.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me back up just a couple.
Tomato grower Tony DeMere is all for President-elect Donald Trump slapping tariffs on the Mexican farmers who undercut him by paying workers a fraction of what he does.
Okay, so let's focus in on that. So he's all for Trump slapping tariffs on the Mexican farmers who undercut this guy right here, by paying their workers a fraction of what he does. So when he hires the undocumented immigrant, he's doing the same thing that he's bitching about here, right? Like he's
To other
saying like,
American farmers. To other American farmers.
right,
He's doing the exact same thing
correct. And
because he's
undercutting just
he's
regular
undercutting them.
workers.
Yes, he's getting he's double dipping. He might even be triple dipping. So he's not only is he getting around tax law by hiring undocumented workers knowingly and paying them crap wages, which let's face it, the wages to begin with are already crap for an American citizen, are already crap, but they're paying them less than that and not putting in on the tax, right? They're not giving these jobs to American citizens because they would have to pay them more. And since there's nobody coming there trying to get the job, they can get away with it because it's like, hey, we gotta, we grow the food, right? We grow the food. We gotta have the food. So we turn a blind eye to this. But then that's it's so you're screwing the worker, the illegal worker. You're screwing legal workers. You're screwing the taxpayers, and you're screwing other farmers who, if they do hire American citizens, are paying more, thereby having to raise their costs because they're paying for more expensive help, right? Instead of foreign help. So this guy is just like dipping his finger all over the place. And then on top of it, if he has a bad year, it's subsidized by the government, right? He gets a windstorm comes through. He has crop insurance. Boom. He gets paid for that crop. He can fucking till it right back into the dirt. You don't have to pay nobody. And he gets paid for his crop. And people don't want to talk about farmers, and we're not crapping on farmers. We need
No, no, of
farmers.
course not.
You know what I
And
mean?
like I
But
said at
like
the
we
beginning,
need
we need these people in
these
the fields
people.
to work it because like clearly Americans, well, one, these guys don't want to pay the price, and like Americans don't want to do the job. So like we need
Well,
somebody to do
American
it.
I I I will push back a little bit. I think Americans, if they had the opportunity, would do the job. They want to get paid American prices. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
already not getting paid enough,
But it's interesting though,
no
because
matter
there's
what you do.
that lady. I don't know, I saw a lady down in Texas who was like, we went through this. They rounded up a lot of these folks and sent like and crops were rotting out in the fields, and she's like, we couldn't. They were like we couldn't hire white Americans to go out to do it. She's like, we tried to pay them like $30 an hour. They didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to be out in the hot field, fucking
No,
sweating
I
balls.
understand. I
You
don't want
know,
to
it's
do that
like,
shit
so like
either.
in some cases, it is true that like, even if you started paying some of these people, there is a point at which it's like, you can't pay them $40-$50 an hour because then it's like, you're not making money. But I guess what I'm getting at is like, so we just need these folks to not sort of be under the guise of like, they're here undocumented. It's like, they're here working, man,
I mean, there
I
should
don't
be
see what
like,
the
there
problem
should
is.
just, I mean, there's ways to fix the problem. The problem is these guys, this shirt guy, slick shirt guy here, he is making a shitload of money, right?
Yes.
And that shitload of money is greasing somebody's palm, somebody somewhere. Some freaking buddy of his he went to school with or some crap, who's say the county whatever, and like say like, he's part of a bigger farming co-op and they have like lobbyists and shit. Like it all goes up the food chain, man. And like they're like, look, we want you to do the racism, right? We want you to do the deportations, but we need to be more selective. So I have my workers.
Well, it's kind
You
of
can't get
like,
rid of my guys. You can't get
well,
rid
it's
of
kind of
my
like I want my
illegals
cake and yours and yours and yours too.
and all
And
the
I'm gonna eat
cakes.
all of it. You know what I mean? Like, because I
Yes.
want the cheap labor, I want the undocumented labor, but I want you to send them all out too.
And
And I don't
and
want to pay Americans those prices. But so it got me thinking. So like, it got me thinking about like big picture, zooming out. Like, and we know about this, it's been happening for decades, and it's sort of a systemic issue of capitalism in general, or just unfettered, unregulated capitalism on a global scale. And what it got me thinking about is like the same concept applies to decades ago when, people here in the United States in manufacturing jobs wanted to get paid and they have a living. And we were talking about it the other day. There was a point at which, the man at the house had the job and he made a big enough wage that you could live, whatever, the nuclear family,
the
whatever, right?
the traditional
Well,
life, American
exactly.
life, or whatever.
So what happened? Like manufacturers and big business owners who were like, you know what? I need to make more profit. I need to make more money for me, and me. And they're like, "What? How can we do this?" They're, "Oh, well, let's send over manufacturing. Let's set up shop in China or over in India, and we'll pay those people like $1 or something a day,
Or Mexico.
or what?" Yeah. And so like
Yeah.
this concept that this guy right here, this Trump supporter's talking about of like the Mexican farmers undercutting him by paying these other guys cheaper prices. This is like a microcosm of what's been happening on a global scale for decades. And that's why we're in the problem we're fucking in. It's because of that
And
shit.
there's solutions that could be had, right?
Sure.
Like if we had a functioning Congress that could pass some fucking bills that made sense, which they never will because our people are bought and fucking paid for, right? But if theoretically we actually could get some legislation through, like something we could do is come up with like they have the guest worker visas or the H1Bs. Like you could do a temporary worker visa for migrant workers to come in, work through the seasons, the growing season, and then like head back home. to their
Well, and I
country of
think that,
origin,
I mean, I think
for the
that's,
winter or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, and I
and
think
then
that's,
they can go work the fields down there where it's hot. You know what I'm
what
saying?
was it, Mom, when you was talking to Mom one time, and she was saying how when they went up to vacation up in, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, at like, so, Royale Island, Royale, or whatever it was, something, and
Hmm.
it was like this
Hmm.
tourist community, and like everyone working there was like from Lithuania or whatever, like something, like they weren't from
Right.
America, and they weren't even from Canada.
Sure.
And it was because they were talking to everybody. And it's like, well, it's like, I'm glad that you guys are here working, and like, this allows me to be here and experience this place and buy something while I'm here. And it just came down to like nobody wanted to work those jobs because they're pretty damn seasonal, and so it's like, it's
Right.
hard to like justify having those touristy seasonal positions up there. But like, these people come in and they work them because it's better than the situations they got back at their house, or back in their countries or whatever. So it's just another like example of like those instances where, um, you can't find the American folks to do it, or it's some kind of situation with these business owners where like they get some kind of whatever, they get some
I mean, we
sort
don't
of
have to get all
incentive,
conspiratorial, but
whatever.
there's like, there's legal, lobbying. I mean, it's just,
Hmm.
farmers get together and like to get even a finer point on it, maybe we should do a deep dive on like farming in America. But like, there's a lot of shit going on with like when you think farmer, in today's parlance, it's not some mom and pop operation at home. It's like mega farms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like usually when you're driving through Midwest, you're looking at like what used to be mom and pop farms that got bought up by somebody.
And
And
some of
like
these mega farms, like out in, Nebraska, and these big
or
sort of
fucking
Great Plains
Texas. Yep.
areas, like, some of these farms in their combines and stuff, there's hardly any people out there even working them. It's all like the combines are GPS guided. They just run the fields themselves. You basically have a guy out there
Yep.
maybe sitting in them just to make sure everything's kind of operating, but sometimes,
Yep. It's all operated by computers.
so.
Yep.
Little small, like, yeah, like you said,
And
these little small mom and pop
and we need
deals.
we need these people. Like ultimately, it's like you said, we need these workers. Okay,
Yeah.
what we want is fair conditions for these people, and we want them to get paid correctly and to be taxed correctly. And these farmers need to either they need to figure it the fuck out and come up with a business model where they quit screwing everybody, or maybe it's time to go back to the old mom and pops where I bet we would probably get a pretty damn good deal and
Yeah.
probably better produce, better meat, better, you name it, grains, all that shit, all the stuff we need to live. You know what I mean? It's all owned by big conglomerates, big monopolies,
Well, I
man.
mean,
Like,
even in this case, this guy said he was from Boston, right?
yeah,
Originally, or something.
you can hear it in his voice.
Um,
I can't do a Boston.
so anyway, I just kind of wanted to like focus in on that. That's kind of what, like I said, I haven't heard anybody, like, have you? Like, have you heard anybody talk about
No,
like
you hear
what
about
should,
these raids and stuff like they were doing, like especially during COVID, they were doing some like raids, like on meat packing plants and shit like that, right? And like rounding up illegals. Oh, excuse me, bang my mic.
like, and
But like you don't hear about like any like lawsuits being brought against those companies
mm-mm.
or whatever. Like because it's like, are they? I mean, being farms or like a meat packing plant, like you shut that down, you're like taking food out of people's mouths. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
is exactly what's about to happen.
Well, and like,
Exactly what's gonna happen.
and again, it's like I'm not trying to um completely chastise or whatever, like business owners, or there's plenty of people out there that run, nice businesses, and they hire and they do everything by the books, and that's great. That's awesome. They're providing a service or a good to people. But like, if you're breaking the law and you're doing stuff that even by your own standards you shouldn't even be doing, I mean,
His
like,
own argument
I
of
mean,
why,
this
yeah,
guy's a Trump guy, and he's supposedly America first, but like he's going and hiring undocumented people to work for him, and now he's crying about it when they got to disappear. Like, so it's just like, fuck, dude, are you serious
it's
with this
pretzel
shit?
brain, man. Like, I don't, their fucking brains go all fucking different directions, man. Like, I don't understand
No,
how
it's
they
that
think. It doesn't make
they
any
want to
sense.
reap
There's nothing
every
logical
fucking
about it.
benefit out of everybody. They
Yes,
want the
you're
cheap
nailing it.
labor. They want the fucking tax incentives, because like some of these fucking
And the subsidies.
cocksuckers think that just because they're a fucking business owner, you don't have a right to be a business owner, and you don't have a right to do any of this shit. Like, if you want to run a business, great, but like, doesn't mean that you get all this fucking shit and you get to reap all these little um
DEI shit. Isn't that
yeah,
what they
it's
say?
like, fuck, dude,
All
it's like
this
you
white,
want to
all
exploit
this like
everything.
rich guy DEI, like rich guy welfare.
Like,
They
the
want rich guy
saying.
socialism and shit, but like they don't want to share any of like what they got. You know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
what they're getting by like screwing us out of what we're supposed to be getting. The taxpayers. That's what pisses me off the most, man, is like these motherfuckers, talking about how government doesn't work and this and whatever, but they're like not doing what is required of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
It's like,
imagine. Oh no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I was going to say a good example is like, of like how they put themselves in these situations, how they break shit and then say, "See, it doesn't work." Is like
Mm-hmm.
the ACA, which, if you don't know, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, is Obamacare.
Ding ding
It's the
ding.
same. It's the same fucking program. But what most people forget, but I'm an old fucking guy and I remember this shit, is that when Obama and the Democrats put forward the ACA, there was a thing in there called the mandate, basically saying like everybody had to get insurance. And the thing that the reason that the right got enraged by that was because they're like, oh, young people are having to get health insurance even though they're young. Which, like, let's face it, we want young people to have health insurance, right? Like, as if that's not a good reason to have health insurance. And then young people are like, oh, well, we'll have to pay for it. Well, here's the thing: it's like, you're young, yes, you will have to pay for it, but like, since it would have been mandated, every single person in the country would have been buying insurance, thereby bringing the cost down. That was the whole reason
Whole fucking point.
for the fucking mandate. It wasn't just because they're like, we're forcing this choice. It's like, yeah, we're forcing this choice on you in order to bring the cost down for everybody. If you have everybody in the pool contributing, that's more healthy people into the system that
I,
aren't going to use it necessarily, which helps out the fucking other people that are going to use it more. Yeah, but like, so when they broke it, and they're like, look, it ain't fucking funded right. Like,
yeah. Yep.
it's like,
Or like Trump, he's
it just
like,
fucking
we need to
drives
get
me
rid of
nuts, dude.
TikTok. We gotta get rid of TikTok. We can't trust
Yeah,
it. It's from
dude.
China. It's from China. We gotta get rid of TikTok. And then he's like,
And he's like,
I fixed
Musk is
it.
gonna buy it.
I
Musk
fixed
is
it.
gonna buy it.
We got an extension on it. Trump Daddy fixed it for you. Old Daddy.
Called Mr. Beast, and I was like, hey, bro, you
You're
want to
doing
buy
great
TikTok?
things. Yeah.
I gave I gave Snoop Dogg and Kanye a little ring a ding, like, hey boys, you wanna buy TikTok?
But
I'll make it.
you gotta bing bang boop something out in the field, you know. It's
Bing bong. Yeah, what
bing
was he
boop
doing?
pop
Ding dong
beep
ding.
bow.
He's acting like he's in a big fucking truck or something. Beep beep.
All right, next topic,
All right,
dude. Let's
sorry.
move it along because I'm gonna pop off here in a hot minute because I gotta get up at 4 in the morning. Anyway,
Yuck. Let's do it.
okay, next topic, dude. Moving on. Next thing I saw today that I just had to fucking respond to because it just this is one of those things. I want to talk about the welcoming nature that Jank spoke of. The MAGA movement. So the thought that the reason why I started thinking about this is because apparently they want to deport the bishop that asked the incoming president of the United States of America and his administration to have mercy on people. Have mercy on people, not a disagreement, not an agreement. Really just kind of like a statement of something she would like for them to consider, which was to have mercy on people. And MAGA basically wants to deport them. Trump made a whole fucking dump, what do they call it? Troth Central, a troth.
Troth Central.
Basically just, basically just saying that she's horrible and it just was a disgrace what she did, and it was like super welcoming. Like they just kind of welcomed her in with hugs and kisses and warm,
She didn't even disagree with him. She just said, "Be merciful."
That's what I'm saying. Like there wasn't.
Please. People are scared. Please
So I guess
have mercy on them.
that's part of
That's
being
too.
welcoming.
I guess being really Jesus, like like a bishop would be, and like
Yeah.
representing Jesus
That's
would be something that like the evangelicals should be like really happy about. Like she's like, oh, be like Jesus. Well, isn't that like the main tenet of
it's to have
Christianity?
mercy on people.
And be more like Jesus.
Even if it's like people that aren't quite seeing your way, like aren't you still supposed to have mercy on them and like teach them
He's
the way?
asking her to apologize. I
For
don't
being,
understand for what.
when has that fucking fat fuck orange cocksucking motherfucker ever apologized about anything? Fuck him.
I don't know what she did. I don't know what she
She
did.
didn't do anything. She asked to just have
Exactly.
mercy on people. Fuck you.
She should apologize for asking me to do stuff.
I like fuck him, dude.
She's
And
not my
so
wife.
so in that vein, that's what got me thinking about it. And then I see that one of so
I'm surprised he didn't rate her on her. He's like, she's a 3.
I'm surprised there's not a lawsuit or like like he's gonna get Cash Patel on her here soon. But
I'm sure they're working on getting her
like
fired.
for
They're
libel
probably
or something.
he's
Or
probably
whatever.
called up the Pope right now. Like, can you believe what your person did? I can make it real hard for you.
So Jank's whole thesis as of lately is that if you agree with MAGA 5%, they welcome you in.
They welcome in.
So our next highlight here is this ugly fuck. This ugly
God
bitch.
damn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
Bro,
I should have
fucking
trigger warning.
Dude, that shit gets me.
It's
That makes him God.
like,
I don't.
she kind of presenting a little masculine there. Her cheekbones are
I
quite
shouldn't
high.
have done that, but goddamn, I thought that was that fucking Jeepers Creepers movie character dude or something.
She's got more pronounced brows than us two dudes, man.
What?
Are we sure she's a woman?
I mean,
well, maybe we should ask Matt Walsh. He's always confused.
I want to
about
say that she's had some gender affirming care, bro. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? I think they're against that though.
Anyway, um,
Oh, golly.
yeah, obviously is like huge Trump supporter, like huge Trump supporter. She was like flying around with him during the campaign. Um, so
Yep.
apparently this is part of that welcoming nature as well, of MAGA and those surrounded, that are surrounding Trump. So basically, she spoke out against Elon Musk and his stance on the H-1Bs, right? And basically, he kind of went on a tear censoring her, censoring, canceling.
Free speech absolutist.
Is
Say it ain't so, bro.
oh, that's so. That's so. What do you fucking think's gonna happen, dude? So basically, she's saying that it's outrageous. And I'm sorry, this is from The Hill story from Sarah Fortninsky. But Loomer says it's outrageous, on an X post. So she says she's being censored, which is funny. But then she makes these posts, so it's like, are you being
And
censored or what?
she's excreting it on his
On
site.
right. But he's like, well, anyway, so she says, I worked my ass off to help President Trump get elected, and now I'm being retaliated against, censored, her word, and deliberately financially attacked as an independent journalist by one of his administrative officials. What? I thought it was all like just 5% agreement. You're just in, dude. You're in there like fucking swimwear. What's up with this? She disagreed with just like one
Elon's
little
not even an
eighth
official. He's just an official douche.
fucking Nazi.
He's just an
Yeah.
official fucking backup singer to the big guy. And that what there's always said like Trump or like Biden was supposed to be he was called the big guy, but then every time they talk about Trump, they're like the big guy. Isn't it the same shit? Like
Right.
the double speak. It's like it's hard for me to keep up. Like I was actually having a goofy ass discussion with someone on YouTube, and they were making the case that Democrats were responsible for so many guns being on the streets. And I'm like, wait,
Yo, yo.
I'm like, I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
So the Democrats are coming for your guns to what? Sell them back to you, or just put them on the streets? It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, all those Democrat gun manufacturers.
You got
It's
conflicting
crazy.
shit going on here. I don't. Does that compute, man? It's like they're coming for your guns, but now
What's
2025, it's like, yo,
what
the Democrats are out there slinging guns, dog.
what's
They're on
the
every corner
what's
throwing
the
guns
highest rated
around.
Democrat of from the NRA?
Oh my god, uh, it might be fucking Tim Walz, man.
Highest rated
Could be Democrat.
Democrat
I don't know.
NRA. The
Yeah, because
trace.
they have a rating
Let's see if this.
rating system. There's one left. Joe Manchin. No. Kamala. She has a gun. Fuck, she was. At one time she was. Attorney General
Hmm.
and a lawyer. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It might be hard to find. They might not even bother with Democrats, But I guarantee you can Republicans be shouting from the rooftops, because they love that money.
What is this? A lone Democratic House candidate and no Democratic Senate candidates received a grade A. Well, 92% flunked. What? Who gives a fuck
Flunked,
what? Who
guys.
gives a fuck
Flunked.
what a flunk rating from the NRA is. Like, what? The
It's a
fuck
badge
out
of
of here.
honor.
Whatever, dude. Anyway,
People still.
well, super welcoming nature, right?
Super
Laura
welcome.
Loomer all being censored and
She must
canceled,
be.
and
She must be woke now.
did
So remember how much Mike Pence disagreed with Trump before they tried to hang him? How many times did he disagree with
mm-hmm,
MAGA?
yeah. So
Hey,
let's just like
Mike, I
cut that
won't be your
nonsense.
friend anymore
Can
if you
we
don't.
fucking cut the nonsense here with
Oh
this
my
like
god,
MAGA super welcoming nature? Can we?
dude,
Can
Cenk
we?
is a fucking douche, bro, and I can't believe that I really had a lot of respect for him for like the last 12, 13 years, man. Like, trying to build up a progressive company. He was like, they spout and saying they're the home of progressives. Well, you know what? They kind of ain't acting progressive. Matter of fact, they're not just kind of not acting progressive. They're acting the complete opposite. They're like bashing progressives. Some even people that are like friendly to their network, man, like Fran and fucking, all the other people, like God, I'm blanking right now, but like the whole network as a whole, I basically unsubscribe to every single fucking show, even shows that I really enjoy, like Dr. Ritchie's show. Really
Yeah,
like
or like
Dr. Ritchie's.
Rebel HQ or so.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to, I was part of Dragon Squad. You know what I mean? But like
Hmm.
with John Adirola, I like
Adirola, yeah.
TYT Sports with Rick. Like there's a lot. I unsubscribed to every fucking one of them. Because it's like, what, the fish rots at the top or from the head down, dude, and like you can't espouse progressive ideals and then be on the same on a network where the people in charge, Anna and Jank, who are the flagship people for the network, are like doing all this crazy shit, saying all this crazy shit, bro.
Right.
Supporting fascists,
Right.
running cover for fascists, man. Like trying to normalize and sane wash these fucking people, dude. Like rubbing
Hmm.
shoulders with fucking Glenn Beck and fucking Ben Shapiro's and your fucking all these other the turning points guys and all this
Yeah.
shit, dude. Like,
Piers Morgan. I
what the
saw Anna.
fuck,
Yeah,
man?
I saw Anna was on his show the other day. And she only really said about like 45 seconds of something, and basically was just kind of like, I
Mugging
know.
out.
Well, she just
Yeah.
kind of like, like you said, it was just kind of more of like normalizing Trump and just, kind of almost like placating because it's more about like access media for them too. Right now, it seems
Right.
like they need access to the power because now
They're
it's,
Joe and Mika. They're doing a Joe and Mika, but in a different way,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's what I got for
Morning,
today.
Joe.
That's that was what had me
That's what
a
we
little
got.
engaged and enraged today.
He was a bit enraged, guys. Shit happens,
But I
and
just
it's gonna
wanted,
keep happening. But you know what? We're gonna be here, right here, on
yep,
the E&E network.
yeah, baby. We're gonna fucking call it out, man. We're gonna, yeah, we're not,
We're gonna be here.
well, and we're just part of this, like, I'll just kind of be honest with you. I've always been into kind of politics, and, like, I've never really got super, involved like in campaigns or nothing, but it was just like I try to stay informed. And like when Trump got elected this time again, I just basically told myself I gotta fucking do something to like combat this shit because like the last 4 years it was just crazy, and I didn't feel like I really I could have done more. And this time
Right.
around, I'm like, I'm gonna try to use my creativity. I'm gonna try to do something worth a fuck. I'm gonna talk to you, and we decided, hey, let's start this channel. Even if we like help change 10 people's minds, that's still something better than I did fucking first round. And I'm not gonna let these,
We're doing something, even if
yeah,
it's like not much. We're like
uh,
we don't have any overlords, besides our animals, our
right,
cats, which there will be more cats and dogs
And I'm
videos
not
like
gonna let these.
that.
I'm not gonna let
For
these
sanity
hateful
purposes.
Nazi clowns get me down. I am gonna fight them every step of the way. I'm gonna call this shit out. I'm gonna find ways to try to get through to people. Either through my music, through this channel, or just talking to them day by day when I'm just engaging with people. So that's kind of where I'm coming at this thing.
Yep, same.
All right,
We always have
so
really good discussions, and yeah, take
but
it
yeah,
away, brother.
please feel free to share, comment, hit the bell, all that stuff. And if you have the ability to um, shout us out to some of your friends or anybody that you think might like these conversations or the discussions we're having, send them our way. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a good one, folks. Till next time. See ya.
Peace.